Hey, how's it going? It's Shaun Hite here once again. Back. It's been a while since I've done a review of anything. Today I'm going to be talking about this little guy here. I'll have some close-up shots of him eventually. As you can see, he's not real stable. This is basically, for those monster fans out there, what is known as a Penn Plax Aquarium bubbler or aquarium ornament or aquarium toy. Really, whatever you want to call it, that's what this is. And I am going to do a review of this one right here today on this episode. So stay tuned. So anyway, I just got this in the mail, probably within the last couple weeks, maybe a week ago, something to that effect. And as you can see, by the way he falls over, he's hinged at the waist. And I know a lot of you out there are probably already familiar with the Penn Plax item here today, but this is... I don't want to say this is an official Penn Plax, even though if you look at the bottom of this ornament, it clearly reads 1998 Penn Plax. But with that being said, this particular creature I got from eBay from a Chinese seller for like $35, I think it was, maybe closer to $40 with shipping. I'm not sure, but it was right along that price point. But, I mean, as a collector myself, I can pretty much tell you this is not an actual Penn Plax. Not saying it didn't come from the molds, or a copy of the molds, because it does say, as I said, Penn Plax on the bottom, and it is, for anyone who's familiar with the look of a Penn Plax, you can look at this and tell that it is, that's essentially what it is. But this is a knockoff. I'm 99.9% sure it's a knockoff. I would never tell anybody otherwise than that. But I had been wanting one of these since I was a kid in the 70s. And I remember being born in Cairo, Illinois, the southern tip, for those of you not familiar with Illinois. It's right there on the border Kentucky and Missouri. But anyway, walking through town, it's, I don't know, probably the mid-70s, walking through town with my folks. And they had a big pet shop there, right on the main drag. And I remember going in there quite often with my mom and dad, and we would look around and everything. And I remember seeing an actual Penn Plax on the shelf and just being mesmerized, because even as a young child and a huge monster kid, I knew that it was the creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, it's obvious. That's what it is. It is my understanding that Penn Plax got into a bit of trouble when they originally released this, and my years could be off because this is some research I did online. But from what I understand, these were originally produced in 1969 by Penn Plax, and they ran into some legality issues from Universal because they did not get permission to produce a creature from the Black Lagoon aquarium ornament. So of course you can understand the trouble with that. Universal wanted their money, and the creature was a huge commodity, you know, as far as merchandising and toys and things of that nature, especially up through the, you know, late 60s into the 70s, all kinds of merchandise. And he's always been a favorite of mine, as well as many other collectors. So this piece, when I came across it on eBay, I immediately knew it had to be a knockoff, but I didn't care because, as I said, I never have actually owned an original. And this is so close to the original that I just didn't care. So I had to get one. And it took me a while. I was on the fence. I had tried to order one once before, and I had ran into some issues with the seller. I had paid for it, and months went by. I never received it. I, of course, ended up getting a refund through eBay. So then I was a little gun-shy. But fast forward a bit into the future, and I decided to try it again with another seller, and here is the result. You know, I actually got it rather quickly. Within a couple weeks of the order, it came, and it was packaged in a styrofoam. Not a legitimate, you know, it didn't come in a box, is what I'm saying. This thing did not come in a package or a box with, you know, credentials or anything. It came packaged in a foam insert that probably came from maybe, I don't know, a can opener or some sort of small appliance, maybe an alarm clock, I don't know. But the seller did package it nicely. It was very well padded inside. The box was completely sealed with tape. So when I opened it, because I had read other reviews from other buyers that had said when they received their item that it had been broken, either, you know, the hands or fingers were broke off, or the waist was completely separated from the lower section of the figure, which I can understand that if it's jostled around a bit, because as you can see here, mine, I've got a pipe cleaner in here holding it erect so that you can see, you know, what it looks like. But normally it's got a hinged waist, and the idea is you would take this air tube, which was included with the purchase, and you will hook one end of it to the tube here included with the creature, and of course you would assemble the rest of the tube to an air pump, sold separately, of course. And the idea is, as the air pumps through the tube and then into the figure, it causes the creature to rise and fall, you know, as if it's, you know, lunging at something. I don't know what exactly it would be lunging at. It's standing on this rock amongst this ocean shrubbery and whatnot. But anyway, you get the idea. It moves. It's a movable item, you know, and that makes it more fun. It's animated. I guess you would say it's an animated aquarium ornament, and that is much more fun than a stationary aquarium ornament, I would suspect. But anyway, as I said, it comes with this tube, and then it came with these two little cutouts, which I'm assuming were printed by the seller. One of them reads simply "Tips," "Real underwater movement!" exclamation point, Directions: attach air line to an independent adjustable air source and adjust air pressure for best operation. I guess they, just in case you can't figure out how to do it, this tells you how. And you don't want to put too much pressure on there, or I don't know, maybe the thing will just blow apart. Because it's not made like, the best. As I said, this is a knockoff of a Penn Plax. I mean, it does say Penn Plax on the bottom, but it's obviously a little more cheaply made. But I don't care. It's still, it is what it is. It's a representation of a famous monster. So I mean, that's the fun part, right? And as far as the paint job and everything, I mean, it's fine. It's not. I wouldn't say it's an exact replica of the original, because it's certainly not. This has these eyes, which I will do some close-ups so that you can see better. But it's got these green plastic protrusions that have been sort of stuck into the eye sockets for effect, I guess. They're almost like a neon glowing green. They look like they would glow in the dark. I doubt they do. But anyway, they kind of remind me of like the tip of a light bright peg or something if you had snapped it off flush and shoved it into the skull of said creature figure here. But anyway, still cool. But as I said, not an exact representation of the original Penn Plax Creature. The seller also included some more tips on a separate sticker sheet, and it simply reads that it's more delicate and easier to damage, period. We have done our best to protect, period. But the transportation process is beyond our control. If the palm of the item falls off. Now it says that, and I don't know why the palm of the item would fall off per se. I could see maybe the entire hand snapping off, but this simply reads, if the palm of the item falls off, please use a lighter, yes, a lighter, to heat the hot melt on the surface of the palm of the item, and then stick the palm of your hand, period. Thank you for your understanding. So anyway, there again, all the more reason to know that this is indeed a knockoff item. But as you can see, it does come with the shrubbery, as the original did. And it's got the starfish, I guess you would say driftwood, a seashell here, an anchor. So yeah, I mean, it is essentially the Penn Plax Creature that we all know and love. A little information about the original. The original, from what I can tell, of course, Penn Plax and released it, and it was originally, as I said, I believe '69 is what I read. I probably came across it in the mid-'70s, which makes sense because they would still be probably sitting on shelving in pet stores at that point. So yeah, I mean, some of these are dated, from what I understand, 1971. I guess it just depends. From what I read, they had a short run due to the legality issues, but for some reason they were reproducing these up until, let me see, 1998. You could find these if you were looking in the right place, I guess. Where else did I see? Or rather, 1999, a company released these with the packaging reading "Bubble Jewel Box Collection," and it had a bubble container over it. The placard at the bottom said "Jewel Box Collection." Had a really nice bubble dome over it. And I will try and insert some photos of those as we go. So I thought we'd take just a brief moment to check out some images of the Vinnie's and Penn Plax Creature from the Black Lagoon Aquarium toys, aquarium ornaments, bubblers, decorative items, whatever it is you choose to call them. Let's just take a quick look at the different versions, the different packaging styles of these amazing monster collectibles. Vinny's slash Penn Plax. I don't know what the correlation is there. But anyway, some of these are marked Vinny's, and they released them with a cardboard placard across the bottom that read simply "Sea Treasure." See, none of these say the creature from the Black Lagoon. You're not going to see them saying Universal Monsters, this and this and that. The closest thing you're going to come to something like that is the Super 7 reaction figure that was released in the style of the original Penn Plax Creature Aquarium toy. Now, it doesn't look like it. It's their own sculpt, which to me is a bit underwhelming, the sculpt, but it's still a creature item, and it's still an homage to Penn Plax and what they did. So, as a collector, it's still a cool piece to have. But as I said, don't go buying one of these expecting it to be an exact replica of the Penn Plax, because it's not. It's not even close to that. It's not the same pose. The face is kind of wonky looking. If you look at the Penn Plax, you can tell that it was, and don't quote me on this, you know, I'm telling you what I have heard and what I kind of theorized myself, that it was based on the Aurora kit. I'm sure it was. It looks like a smaller scale than the Aurora Creature kit. I believe the kit was a little bit bigger, but it looks like a scaled down version of that, which they've done some tweaking to. And I'm about 99% sure that is true. Because often this happened a lot with, you know, toys and things. They would use other things in their toy lines for whatever reason, but they did, and that happened. It was a fairly common practice, so I'm pretty sure that's what happened here. So anyway, this is my Chinese. I'm going to say Chinese knockoff, because really that's what they are. They're Chinese knockoffs. They're sort of hastily produced in a lower grade material many times, but the thing is they still produce something that most people can't afford to buy the original of, unless you're doing okay for yourself. I've seen some of these original Penn Plax go for, hundreds of dollars, $400, $350. It just depends. It depends on the condition, if they're still in the package and all that. So the originals are they're kind of hard to. They're not real. You can find them, but they're expensive. Is what I'm saying. So for me, this was a bit more palatable. As a creature fan, I've always wanted one of these, and I am more than happy to settle for this little guy, this Chinese knockoff of a Penn Plax Vinny's Creature from the Black Lagoon Aquarium Bubbler, or Aquarium Ornament, or simply Aquarium Toy. Whatever you want to call it, it's cool. And but I would recommend, if you're going to look for one of these on eBay, kind of do the research, read the reviews first. There are reputable Chinese sellers out there. I've dealt with many of them over the past few years. But then there's always a few that you may want to be cautious with. So I'm just saying, be careful. But you can get some good stuff fairly inexpensively, if you try. It's worth a shot for $35. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. And there he goes. He's taking a bow, as you can see. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Penn Plax Vinny Chinese knockoff Creature from the Black Lagoon Aquarium Bubbler. Can you say bye? He's trust me, he's saying goodbye. Anyway, thanks. Once again, I am Shaun Hite, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you would, like, subscribe, share, all of those amazing things. And be sure to check out my other social media endeavors as the Super Inframan Society Facebook group. and the Paid in Green Peppers Movie Review Podcast. So for Shaun Hite, I am signing off. Have an amazing, blessed day. Goodbye.